Hey there, lovelies and gents. This is your girl Nadia, aka the Prophet in Process, and I know it has been a very long time since I have been on this channel, and I guess this will be my official introduction or reintroduction that I'm back. I've recorded something similar to this probably, I know, over 10 times because I've been meaning to come back so many times before. And it seems like everything under the sun has stopped me. I don't want to make any excuses. A lot of it's been some emotional issues. You know, this whole kingdom marriage thing has just put me on pause for a long time because of doubt and unbelief. But it's all been necessary. I'm not saying that I don't believe in the kingdom spouse for you all or for myself anymore. It's just a lot of the things that have happened in the last few months. I'm baffled. I'm baffled. I mean, that's the only thing I can say, and you'll understand why as the rest of these videos are released. I'm just going to read an excerpt of a journal entry that I wrote this morning, just a few moments ago, actually less than an hour ago. It's about 11:49 a.m. now, and I actually woke up at 11 o'clock. Wasn't planning on waking up that late, but, you know, it happens. So today's the 18th of February. And it's interesting that the Lord would prompt me to record this right now. I mean, I've been recording since I left. And there's quite a bit of insight that's available. And I've learned a lot. I've learned a whole lot the hard way. And I don't want you to learn it the hard way with regard to witchcraft attacks as well as just practical ways of getting through this journey, not just for the kingdom marriage journey, but just the journey into purpose, period, for those who are chosen, because that's who God's called me to teach. The difference between those who are called and those who are chosen are the ones who answer the call. And a lot of the messages that the Lord has been prompting me to release are very personal, very embarrassing. Some of them are hilarious, and a lot of it has some colorful language. In fact, one that I've been holding since July the 26th is very colorful. I was so confident when I recorded it. It is definitely a little all over the place, but I was so confident when I recorded it because I said, this is the last damn straw. Because I was so angry with the attacks that I was enduring. I was so angry at the people behind it. And of course, either just before that or a little after, perhaps, the Lord kept reiterating to me that you're not dealing with people, you know, because we wrestle not against flesh and blood, even though it manifests that way. A lot of the information that I'm even providing right now, or the Lord has put it on my heart that I need to provide right now, may seem redundant as you listen or as you view this. But of course, if this is for you, if you've experienced anything even remotely similar to what I've experienced within the last year or years, whether it's regarding your kingdom marriage or just stagnancy in general, you'll need to listen to it or you'll need to watch. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to read this little excerpt here. And I'll explain my living conditions and you'll understand a little bit more. But I said, it's a little after 11 a.m. and I've just awakened to the yelps and screams of that puppy. I considered how I need to record, and now he's so loud I won't be able to do so. Father, I give up. Sorry. Didn't expect this. I'm tired. Oh, now the puppy is quiet. Interesting. I sat there a few minutes ago and the song by Babyface, Good Love, came to mind. It angered me initially. I know that's just the response the devil wants me to have against, I put my kingdom spouse's name. I know you want me to forgive him, welcome him back when he returns. However, I had no idea I'd lose everything first. I don't want to make any more excuses as if I can't do this or that. And I definitely don't want to play the victim. I must get this stuff out. I must get out what I can. Yes, I've been disobedient. Yes, I deserve discipline. But it all seems too much right now. I cannot allow this to get the best of me. I refuse to hate those people who have persecuted me. For your hand is not too short to save anyone. But for those who have partnered with Satan and forfeited their humanity against you by attacking me, I ask that your judgment be swift. God, the hell that I have been through. Okay, that's just I hadn't written any more. I wasn't expecting to shed any more tears, God, over this. But yeah, I've tried to laugh it up and record things. And of course, laughter is the best medication, but I just feel like, there's a time for everything. And this is a low point. And the message that I mentioned about the 26th of July when I recorded it, I started it because the Lord kept reminding me of a number 120, because the Lord speaks to me through various means, and numbers is one of them. And 120 in the Strong's Concordance, one of the definitions or one of the meanings, I can't remember right now if it's Greek or Hebrew. I do specify that, I believe, in the word that I'm talking about from July. It means to be despondent or disheartened. And in July, I distinctly felt that this is how my kingdom spouse was feeling. And I recorded it as such. However, I feel like the Lord's been reminding me of this now, not only because I need to get it out, but because that's where I am. I've recorded so much. In the last couple of years, I've had over 1,300 recordings of dreams and prophetic words the Lord has given me. And I didn't even, until I started really revisiting all of this stuff that the Lord has given me, I didn't realize it had been so long that I'd been so inconsistent, that I'd been in this fog, because I knew exactly what the Lord shared with me before, but this experience has been a extreme training. I feel like I've been in a boot camp for spiritual warfare, and not just for myself, but for you all, so that you won't have to endure the pain or the loss that I've had to endure. There's many lessons the Lord has taught me about just connections in general. Right now, of course, I'm under very heavy witchcraft attack and have been. And part of it is because of my pride, not just getting this stuff out. It's a combination of pride and fear, I suppose. And of course, the Lord didn't give us a spirit of fear, or didn't give us a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and sound mind, right? That's what the word says. And it's not that I'm afraid of any particular person. I think I was afraid to put my heart out there, just to get hurt again with the whole kingdom marriage thing, because I pretty much had been getting hurt. And of course, I've got a lot of recordings about that, and I'm just going to put all of that out here, and we're going to discuss it and everything. And, we're going to learn together regardless. But, oh God, I don't want to tell y'all all this stuff, but I do need to tell y'all this stuff, because it's like, I don't want to give the enemy the satisfaction, but I know that this is part of the process. The enemy has to think that they've got me beat, and, that's just it. So obviously for the last few years, I've been feeling like I'm in a nomad situation. I've been constantly moving quite a bit. This is not my norm. Like, I'm one who likes stability, but I can operate in chaos. God is not the author of chaos. However, the enemy is. And God has the enemy on his leash. So God is still in control of this thing. However, sometimes it's really, really hard to believe that when so much bad is coming your way. However, there's certain steps that I did not take, certain things that I did not do, did not say. I was disobedient. I did not pray for my kingdom spouse when God prompted me to at certain times, or I did not speak up when I knew to do so. These little things that I refused to do for whatever reason during this journey created a domino effect in my emotions and spiritually. However, it was necessary. And when I say it's necessary, it's because these were learning opportunities, not just for me, but so that I could teach you from what not to do. Just like where my past is riddled with sexual sin and even adultery and things of that nature, how God has changed my life in that respect. He's done the same here spiritually as well. And I just didn't think that this was going to be the main part of the ministry that he's blessed me to receive. God, it didn't seem like a blessing at first, and throughout this it has not, because I've stayed with family members off and on, and right now I'm actually temporarily with a family member. And, of course, in this journal entry about this puppy, it's because they have pets, and this puppy is kind of, I love animals and stuff, but he's really loud and a little destructive. So it's a bit of a distraction But I have a word that the Lord had me to record a while ago about basically it's you're better together, meaning your kingdom spouse, and you are better together because without one another you all are suffering. And because of pride and ego, no one wants to bend. And it's only going to make things worse for both of you. So if the Lord has prompted you to get together with your kingdom spouse and you just been hung up on whatever happened in your past and don't want to do it, or, it's in your best interest to do what the Lord says. And it's not saying that you got to marry this person immediately. What I'm saying is explore with the Lord how you need to approach this thing and allow the Lord to open your heart and show you what's there. The pain that's there, because through this last year, I've recognized how much pain that I covered up, not just in my kingdom marriage journey, but just covered up from what my second ex-husband did to me, things that my mom did to me. A lot of stuff the Lord has had to uncover so that I can digest what I've been stuffing for years. And it's made me wiser. It's made me better for it. But sometimes I'm thinking, God, I wish I didn't know so much now, because you can't unknow it. And the realization that my second ex-husband has been doing witchcraft against me, the whole family's evil as hell. And at first I got a lot of recordings about, the mom. I knew mom was dabbling in the occult a long time ago. Wasn't really messed up about her. But initially I thought that my second ex-husband was a victim, just as a pawn. I knew he's evil. Well, he's evil. But he was a narcissist anyway. But just spiritually speaking, I could not have fathomed the extent that this evil wretch of a man has done. And, there's been several attempts on my life. It trips me out. But thankfully, God gives me a heads up in advance, and He does it in so many different ways so that I can stay safe. That's been one of my major concerns, safety. And I remember telling my kingdom spouse earlier last year, or asking him what his definition of a safe place is, just to see if we were on the same page, because I didn't trust him, and unfortunately I don't trust him now. I know God wants me to. I know God's wanted me to for years, to try to trust Him. And only until recently did I admit to Him that I don't. That the directive that God had given me to come see Him so many times, despite Him telling me that he was married. Yeah, it gets deep, y'all. I'm not condoning adultery in any way. It's a lot to my story. And I did express to him the last time that I saw him that I had been fighting repulsion, because I want to do what the Lord tells me to do, and I know that I hear from the Lord. However, what the Lord tells me and what you're telling me contradict what His Word says. In so many ways. I didn't say that exactly, but that's the way I felt. Because I am a human lie detector. So I knew that he was lying to me. God's even confirmed it further, and revealed to me in a lot of different ways that my kingdom spouse was wearing a ring to ward off gold diggers and adulterous women, and also sexual harassment because he's handsome and women are thirsty. I've recorded about all of this, and I'm just kind of, giving you just a summary of what to expect, because it's a lot that needs to come out. My plan had been to just put everything out and then go back and do what I can to clean it up. But I'm realizing that is really harder than I expected. I mean, it's not that I'm going to put out 1,300 recordings. Obviously, that's too much. What I'm saying is, it's like this is based on instruction that the Lord had given me several months ago, right? Probably about July was when he was saying that I needed to do this, I need to do that. But I realized that I have really been disobedient and not doing it, and I've suffered for it. I got up the other day and I said, wait a minute, this is not me. I'm not meant to be just barely making it. I'm just thinking about when I lost everything, when I left Memphis the first time and moved to Little Rock. I had nothing but the clothes on my back because I had been escaping an abusive situation. I started from scratch there. I had to borrow a suit for my interview and got hired on the spot because I was honest. I knew what I needed to do to take care of my children. And God was covering me. Despite what I'd experienced, despite whatever mistakes that I'd made that put me in that abusive situation, God still was covering me. So, for months I had been praying for the Lord to disconnect my heart from the gentleman who has been identified as my kingdom spouse, because I don't want to go against him. And that this was hurting me too much because he won't stop lying. But over the months, most recently, the Lord has revealed to me, there has been a lot of dreams that have been snatched from me. You have that thought, I know I was dreaming, but I can't remember any of it. Yeah, that's a tactic of the enemy. The Lord has shown me that, and he's brought several dreams back and confirmed to me exactly what my second ex-husband has been doing, these specific spells. God is so strategic, and I love him so much for giving me that insight. But I realized that I do have to listen to God every step of the way. So this recording here was not expected at all. This is one of those sharp turns that I didn't see coming, despite my gifts of prophecy, being able to see and being able to hear more clearly in the spirit now. I said all the stuff that I've been through, God. Of course, I've been in a lot of different homeless situations, and I've recorded a lot, even recorded things that were specifically, or I thought at the time, were only going to be for my kingdom spouse. However, the Lord has been prompting me, and there have been several other recordings that I've made where I have to put the stuff out that I thought was just for him. And to be honest, I don't know what's going to happen from here. Because it does hurt so much. And maybe that's where some of you lovelies are. Maybe even some of you gents are, that you feel like You never had any ill intent. And you don't deserve to be treated the way you were. But you still have this thought that, Lord, why are you telling me that I need to come back? Why are you telling me that I need to be forgiven, that I need to bring this person into my heart, and that it's okay? Yes, witchcraft was involved with both of us. So I'm aware of that. I'm aware because the way that I treated him, I know now God has laid it out for me, so that I can lay it out for you via dreams and just other lessons that he's having me to put together for you all that kind of pinpoint just how strategic the enemy had been in laying the groundwork for these traps, and also how supremely more strategic God is with providing the clues to avoid the traps in the first place, as well as to get out of the traps without being detected by the enemy. It is really cool in that respect. And I know that the Lord is taking me to a better place. And I had to get to this low place. And but damn, I did not think it was going to get this low. I mean, my car, the brand new car that I've had over the last couple of years, that I've recorded all these messages about, that the Lord has blessed me with this, and he did. This car was repossessed last week. And I'm like, well, God, if I could only come by this amount of money, I could get my car back for way less, but I only have a few days. And I know the Lord can do whatever, anything. As a matter of fact, if y'all want to donate, your girl is sitting on about $27. Okay. So the credentials will be in the description. Oh my God. And it's not like I'm not able-bodied. Like, I can work, but it's amazing how, this has happened to me before. I shouldn't say it's amazing, because this has happened to me before. When the Lord wants you to go a certain place or do something that's best for you in the long run, he will make it very obvious by making your opportunities seem slim. Like, when I first moved here, my job was getting a job. Like, I'm like, this doesn't happen to me. Like I said, when I went to Little Rock, I got hired immediately as soon as my face healed, because I got the hell beat out of me and my nose was broken and all this kind of stuff. So I had to heal for a couple of weeks. But once I healed, I was determined to do whatever I could to take care of my children and myself. And I wasn't going to allow what one person's evil intentions towards me to take me out, because it didn't kill me. He could have killed me, but he didn't. So I figure if the Lord left me here, then I got something to do. And it's the same thing here. I mean, I've made myself a target. The last couple of times that I saw my kingdom spouse, I knew that I was setting myself up in many ways for failure, or making myself a target because of the monitoring spirits that were in his office. This is something that I knew full well what I was doing. But this is what the Lord told me to do. I did not expect this extent, because I got fired. I don't get fired, except the one time that I was trying to get fired, and it's just, I got recordings about that too. So it's a lot that we got to catch up on. But the Lord kept reminding me about being better together, that you both are stubborn and you need help. You can help each other, but you're both stubborn and you both don't trust me as much as you should. And that's absolutely right. That's not a good thing. But I have to be honest with you, and trust me, it ain't gonna be nothing but honesty on here. It's always been honest anyway, but I think I know I was lying to myself, trying to put this pretty glaze on things that, it's just hard to believe that people are just evil just for evil, just to be evil. I'm thinking, I've been divorced from you for 10, 12 damn years. I don't even live in that place anymore. But it doesn't matter when you've allowed Satan to become your God, or you believe that you are your own God. There have been so many lies circulated about me, which I know that my kingdom spouse is aware that they're lies, and I know God has shown me that He's aware of everything. It's just that right now He feels helpless because He doesn't know how to fix this. Honestly, how to fix this? Help a girl out, okay? I am not the one to want any help from a man or anybody, really. And I know the Lord has been breaking that down in me for years. As a matter of fact, the reason that I got back to Memphis was because of a fraudulent dude that, it's like the Lord showed me bits and pieces of my future years ago. And I understood that, whoever I marry is going to be financially stable, and that we'll be able to help one another, and that they were going to take care of me. But the Lord was grooming me over the years to try to be able to receive. And that's always been difficult for me because I've been done wrong so much. I'm like, I'll just do it myself. And that's what I was trying to do when my car got repossessed. I feel like the Lord had me hidden for a long time. It's not that I didn't know I wasn't behind. Obviously I've been, oh God, so many financial hurdles. And even when I recorded the word that I'm going to put on here, that's a little all over the place. Lord Jesus, is all over the place. But I can't really edit this stuff like I want to. And that's the thing. Lord said, don't edit this. But I just felt like it makes me look like I'm batshit crazy the way that I recorded it. I was like, no, I gotta edit this somehow. And He's like, you're going to have time to edit it later. You're going to have time to clean it up later. And at first, I said, I didn't want to put the word out that I recorded in July because I couldn't help but remember those interactions that I'd had with my kingdom spouse and how I knew that he assumed that I was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It's like I knew it from the beginning because, your girl just did everything wrong in the beginning. I told him, about the first dream and all of that kind of stuff, and it seemed like he understood me. But, and a lot of the things, the feelings that I was having and the doubts and things after that was because, of, it was meant to happen like that. But I realize now the way the Lord has shown me and just some of the craziness that He's actually dealt with other women, that He assumed that I was manic. And I was just like, at the time, I was like, you don't even know what that means, do you? Because I'm a naturally happy person. I like to spread joy, and it amazes me that in the I'm just amazed that in the psychological atmosphere that it's not I'm saying that wrong, but I'm trying to think of what word am I trying to say. Well, in psychology, I'll say that they if you're too happy, too optimistic, it's now there is a such thing as toxic optimism or something like that. But whatever the case is, I have joy because God has brought me through a hell of a lot. I shouldn't be here if it were up to the enemy. The enemy's been trying to take me out since I was a kid. But I'm still here. So I obviously have something to do. And I just remember how he used to look at me in awe. I know now that some of that time he was under the influence of witchcraft. But it was as if, when I noticed all of this stuff happening, it was like, okay, I can't really exactly tell him that because he already doesn't trust me, this type of thing. But the Lord has allowed me to actually come into contact with another gentleman that understands. And I didn't think that was possible. So for a few weeks, maybe a couple of months, I believe that the Lord was opening my heart to let me know that even if it weren't with the kingdom spouse that he'd identified for me, that I still would be loved, and I would be accepted by a good man, a godly man, as a replacement, because it's not that I want that, but God was reassuring me. There's also more to that story, because I did give my kingdom spouse a letter that I'd written on December the 7th. Like the last time that I saw him, I gave him a letter that I'd written on December the 7th. And it was expressing, most of it I can't really recall the details. Because usually if I write something, I still record it, just for my record. But I didn't do this time. So I know that I put in the letter that I loved him and I wish that I didn't. I don't know what else I put. I can't remember what else I put. I mean, I actually recorded a part of this on a message, but the way that I recorded it, it wasn't, I felt like it was influenced by witchcraft, and the way that I said things was not going to be palatable for him to receive. I just felt like, I'm glad that I do pause and listen to the Lord before I release anything now. Of course, I've been paused for about a year now, but that's not going to happen anymore. And the interesting thing is, when my car got pulled, it got pulled because I went to the library because I was having so many problems trying to post this stuff. I mean, the recording that I made in July was the result of me attempting to, or actually speaking with a psychiatrist, because I was having so many problems at work. I couldn't focus at work. My computer was hacked. There was so much stuff that was going on. And the Lord was warning me about all of this stuff. Stephanie P. was constantly putting out videos about things that later manifest in my life. And it's kind of like, damn, you gave me the warning. And it's the same is true for some of you gents. When you all get mixed up with these wicked women, the Lord gave you the warning in the beginning. And like with my kingdom spouse, the Lord told me that it started off the wrong way. And I don't know if it started off the wrong way because he was still going through a divorce at the time, or he was in a relationship with somebody else, or he was just lying from the beginning. I feel like he had been living a lie for 6 years. And this was a couple of years ago. Okay, so this summer, the Lord, was it this summer, or maybe it might have been this summer, or it might have been in the fall, but I remember the Lord whispered to me, 8 is enough. And I'm thinking about the sitcom, right? But he was like, 8 is enough. And I was thinking, well, maybe that's, because I've been here about 8 years. But I don't know. Maybe he's been living a lie for 8 years now. Because we've been delayed for about 2 years. It's a lot of different time frames that I make reference to in prior words that I've recorded, and it amazes me how God knew what was going to happen before I understood what was happening. Before I understood the importance of me not being able to go back and re-edit my transcripts. For instance, I've recorded so much, obviously over 1,300 words in the last 2 years, not to mention all the journals that I write in, not to mention, I got a lot. The Lord has given me a lifetime of information to provide to you all. Yeah, monotonous is what it's definitely not going to be. But I'm grateful that he's had me to go back and revisit these words and these dreams, because originally I'm like, I got to make sure that I go back in every time I record something and make sure that that the transcript is correct, because I know if I have to release a video, I'm going to need to have the captions and all this. I'm trying to get all of this stuff together, right? But it quickly got overwhelming, really quickly got overwhelming, because it was coming too fast. I'm going to just throw the word out there, or the words, prophetic dump. This is how it was. This is a term that the Lord gave me, where this is just a prophetic dump, because it's just all of this information that he's giving me and I got to get it out. But there may be 20 separate prophetic words for different people in that one word, or under that one umbrella, if you will, of that title. So that's happened. There's ways that I can clean it up and make it nice and pretty, but it's been really hard trying to pay for all of these things that I know I need for this ministry, but to try to keep it a secret too. Because I made the mistake and I shared certain things with my family, only to realize that, unfortunately, some of my family members have been used as living monitoring spirits. And if you have a prophetic gift, you know what I'm talking about. Or I'll say this, you know what I'm talking about, or you'll learn what I'm talking about. Because some of you may just be understanding your gifts, or just realize that this is your calling, and you may not have chosen to answer just yet, but you need to. So, though I had planned to do a lot differently, this is where I am right now. I've had physical altercations. I don't fight like that, but like a physical altercation recently with a family member. Well, I was trying to save a family member because they weren't strong enough to save themselves. And I realized I can't be in this environment anymore. So really, I need your help to get out of this. That's just the bottom line. Because I don't mind the enemy attacking me. I don't. I can deal with it. It's just when the enemy attacks those I love. And the enemy knows that. Especially when I'm around it. Because I can see it so clearly. As a matter of fact, I tried to express, I thought I was doing the right thing, but I was moving too quickly. Once I stayed with a family member at a point and I knew what was happening, and I tried to convince them to disconnect from this evil family. that I used to be connected to. And all of a sudden things switched. And I did not realize it, but the Lord brought me to a place in Hebrews. God, I don't know where it was in Hebrews, but it was saying something about they need to grow spiritually or something like that. I'll try to find the scripture and put it in the description or on the screen as things get edited eventually. I'm just tired. I've been tired for a long time. I just have been stubborn, and the biggest thing, even with about being better together, if it were where the Lord wanted me to be with my kingdom spouse and for him to take care of me, I'm not comfortable with that because of that situation that got me to Memphis. I mean, I thought that I was obviously under a spirit of foolishness, because I had never met this dude in person. Oh my God. Yeah, it's funny, but it's really sad. But it's still funny because I'm like, what was I thinking? But it got me here because I never was going to move back to Memphis because of the reason I left. But I knew, God wanted me here. It's like I knew God wanted me here. My son was even talking about how, when he was in, I think, in 9th grade or something, he was talking about how when he's in 11th grade, he feels like we're going to be back in Memphis, because, I didn't want to believe that because I said, I got my house and I'm good by myself. And, I just was, Lord help. Yeah. But, I just I didn't want to believe that I was supposed to be back here. But even that fraud was telling me, that, you gotta be back to Memphis because that's where you're going to meet your husband. He was trying to make me think it was him and I was trying to believe him. So it's a trip. But yeah, he was a fraud, and my children suffered because of it, and I suffered because of it. And I never want to be in a situation where that could happen again. So I didn't realize all this stuff has come out in the last year where I've had to sit myself down and admit that this shit scared me, this shit hurt. That's what's necessary to heal properly. And I know that I've always been meant to lead by example. Did not think it was going to be like this type of example. I mean, no, not at all. I got the new car. The Lord blessed me with it. And I'm like, yes. And even the car was symbolic of this whole relationship thing. But, when I think about it, the 2 years, because it's been 2 years since I had the car, almost 3. So, I still have a little time to get it. So the Lord is able to do anything. If I can get these other projects done like I need to, we'll be good. I know we will, because there's so much that I have to share with you all, and so much that is specific to how my second ex-husband was sabotaging me. I mean, I thank God that I document everything. I've been journaling for years, so the Lord told me to go back and check these things out, and that's what I would advise you to do. If you're a journaler, or, check, to find out if you have been attacked by witchcraft, or first of all, you need to fast and ask the Lord to show you your enemies. You might get your feelings hurt. I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of expected that family had something to do with it. I just did not expect that he was this. I did not. Because he'd been trying to get back with me for years earlier, when my daughter was younger. But I just, I didn't think it was this serious. I mean, even to the point where my previous car started giving me problems. I paid cash for that car when I got it, and it was in good condition, but all of a sudden it started falling apart. And the Lord showed me, you remember when he came down here for, like, my daughter, she got a piercing or something, and he was trying to act like he wanted to be there to be with her. And he actually asked me, could he get in my car? And I let him sit in my back seat of my car. And I didn't even think about it. It's just like so much stuff that the Lord has shown me later. And shortly after that, my car started literally falling apart. It's like stuff started happening with my car. Just all kinds of stuff that was affecting my finances. It's where Lord has shown me where there have been dreams where I've had where he didn't know where I lived at the time, and that in the dream, after I'd received like a Western Union payment from him for my daughter, because I told him a long time ago I wasn't going to accept any money from him. But see, the Lord told me a long time ago, before I divorced him, that you can't accept any more money from him. I had a dream then that I was in my house at the time in Little Rock, and I was telling him, I can't accept any more money from you, right? And I have to divorce you. I'm telling him this in this dream. And I explained this to him. And that's when I finally got my divorce after we had been separated about 3 years, and then I sat there and the Lord showed me, you went back on what I told you not to do. You accepted money from him. And I didn't realize it, because that's the only way that he got my address. You have to provide your address and all of this identifying information when you receive Western Union or any other type of money transfer. So for those of you under the sound of my voice, this may be your warning. Yeah, this is why your finances are fucked up. Excuse me. I guess a little colorful. Yeah, but this is why. Because if the Lord has told you not to give a person some money or not to receive from this person, and you're receiving, and this is the tripped out part. This is what the Lord showed me just recently. Oh my God, thank you for reminding me of this. Okay, so my last name used to be hyphenated, right? That was one of the only thing that I wanted in the divorce was to get my name back. I want my maiden name back. I don't want any part of this man attached to me. And I got that granted legally, right, through the divorce. However, because I've been having all these financial problems and all this kind of stuff going on, and getting fired and just not having hours at this other job that I have, it's just been a mess. And I'm just like, God, something's got to give. So I get a check in the mail from my former, actually it was from Wells Fargo, right? Because that's who I used to bank with when I had my house in Little Rock. And my name was hyphenated because at the time when I bought that house, I was still married. I shouldn't have actually qualified for the grant, but that was just the grace of God that I qualified for it. And that's a miracle in itself. And I've recorded about it. It's somewhere down the line, and it'll bless you if you're trying to get, it really will bless you. It's blessing me just remembering how God brought me through even then. But it's like with that situation, I got a check for like $200, and it was saying that they had an oversight and they needed to pay me, right? Naturally, God is so great. Thank you, Father, for showing me this, because I looked at it and I thank him for giving me this discernment that that's not your name. Had I cashed that check, because I have another dream on here that I'm going to put out about me running out of the desert. Because if you have dreams when you're in the desert is a desolate place. It's a dry place. That means that they're putting curses on your finances. So I was running out of this desert, right? So I knew that I'm coming out of this thing. Despite the fact that I am at zero almost right now, I can't go nowhere but up, As long as I got breath in my body, I can't do nothing but succeed at this point. I ain't got nowhere else to go. So it's like with this situation, I knew, and I was so grateful, and I called them. I said, this is not my name. How hard is it going? I said, but if I'm owed some money, I need to have a check in my name sent to me. Because at first I was happy because I was like, oh, Lord, I needed this money. And that's how they get you. You know. And the Lord showed me that, and I was like, thank you, Father. Because that's not my name. But see, in the spirit, had I cashed that check, I would have been in agreement with a curse. Because that's still trying to show that I'm connected with this man, and I'm not. Even when I blocked him on my social media, immediately, this is really when all the hell really started breaking loose, when I blocked him on my social media because he had a narcissistic injury, and, you know, that's, of course, in the natural, but spiritually, too. So, but the next thing I know, I got this friend request or either a DM from this woman who, was like, hey, sister-in-law, or something like that. I don't know who the hell this woman was, but I didn't respond because I don't have any sister-in-laws except on my brother's side, and that's not even sister-in-law, that's sister-in-love. That's my sister, you know, even though I don't talk to her that much because I just, you know, I just do what I do. I'm an introvert. I gotta do better because I do want to get closer to my family right now, but what I'm saying is that they ain't got nothing. It's nothing. No connection. You know, and for a lot of you, that's what y'all don't get is y'all, when y'all get married, it's absolutely nothing that they can do. It's not that they're not going to try. That's why you have to cover one another in prayer at all times and be honest. See, that's why I'm being attacked so much. That's why all of these curses are affecting me like this. It's because it's deceit between my kingdom spouse and I, or was deceit between us. But see, now I know. Because I was just like, Lord, okay, if he doesn't answer my calls, if I can't get in touch with him, if he's, you know, off the grid because you're working with him, how is it that I'm supposed to get the truth from him? And the Lord has shown me, I've already shown you the truth. And the truth shall set you free. Basically, me, God, I'm just not getting this. Thank you, Father. Thank you. Because y'all just, I mean, of course, when I got fired, you know, the equipment shut down, so I didn't have any equipment to use. So I was like, okay, we'll go to the library. And then my car gets repoed while I'm at the library trying to do this stuff. And I'm like, my God. And then I get attacked physically trying to save someone else from not being taken out. You know? And I'm like, Lord. And I sent some stuff to my kingdom spouse, and I thought to myself, like, can I recall that message? How can I recall that message? And I'm like, God, I've said all this stuff, and I've thought about, I was like, yeah, he probably thinks this is a sob story, that, you know, I'm just a victim, because this is exactly what the counterfeit did. The counterfeit, the counterfeit came in with a sob story. But hell, I've been fighting these tears for years. You know, I'm like, I don't want to be in this situation. And I, you know, everybody needs help occasionally, but it's like, shit, I just need a quiet place to work. You know, it's like, I just need peace. But I allowed myself to be put in certain situations because I didn't know how to say no. I mean, there have been several times where I had the funds saved to move, to do what I needed to do by myself, but because I was, because I wasn't healed or delivered from people pleasing until now. Kind of messed up that I had to be almost at zero to be healed from it. But even that respect, the Lord has shown me that that's what happened to my kingdom spouse and possibly yours, that for 2 years, that at some point, the Lord showed me that for 2 years he lost everything. Like he lost everything. And I keep saying, I don't know if this is him, but I really, really think that this happened to him for real. Like he lost everything or access to everything. And he had been working so much to try to build himself back up. But once he got built back up, he got scared. And that's likely, that's definitely what happened. That's somebody's story. I keep thinking it is him, but he'd have to corroborate that with me later. And that of course is if there is a later, because I don't know the next steps. Lord has given me dreams that show me, but I don't know if I can't release that yet. I don't know. I don't know. The Lord wants me to release quite a bit, and he doesn't want me to discard anything. So it's going to be transparent above all else. So your girl has been through a lot. And hopefully this can serve as some encouragement. I don't know I guess it can serve as some encouragement, because a lot of stuff that I've been through, the Lord has really miraculously brought me through it. And I'm glad that I'm recounting it for you, because that helps me to remember how good he is and that he will supply. I mean, it's too many ways to get out of this that the Lord has given me. I just have been stubborn, and I guess I just didn't want to ask for help. And a weird thing is, it's like the Lord was showing me that my kingdom spouse wanted me to ask for help. But I'm like, hell, I didn't ask for help a couple of times. and because he didn't tell me, I felt like that, that's not right. I wouldn't want my husband giving some chick some money or helping some chick if I don't know about it or whatever. Like, I want us to have like actually, when I worked at the marriage ministry, it was my former boss and his wife, they had, what is it called? Because they actually helped me one time from this fund. It's like it's a joint account, but it's just for charity, like just for charity. Like if somebody, needs help paying a bill or something like that. And of course they discussed it together, but this was specifically set aside for this purpose only. Like, that's what I want. But I can't remember. It was a cool name that they gave it. I can't remember what they called it. What in the world did they call it? Well, whatever it is, it's like that. I'm like, if it were me, and I'm sure I've recorded this, probably for him individually at some point, but that I recorded this. Oh, God, the Lord is telling me I got to reveal something else right now. Okay. Oh, I didn't think I was going to be doing this. But the Lord, in the last few months, the Lord was showing me that my kingdom spouse was going to help me, like in a phenomenal way. Like, he was going to help me with a living situation. Like, and this was like early on after we met or something like that. Cause I did, everything, all hell broke loose immediately after I met him. Like, I was wrapped up in a liability when I met him. But I was actually expressing this stuff, just venting. And he helped me. I didn't like the way that he helped me, because the way that he was talking was like, you need to stack some cash, you need to do this, and that. He was kind of gruff with it. So I really didn't like that. Hell, I ain't gonna lie. I didn't like the fact that I knew he was thinking that I wanted money from him. That's what I didn't like. That's the whole thing. I did not like that. And that's because of what he has been through before. And I was just trying to get direction at the time, and he gave me the direction that I needed. Like I said, I just didn't like the way that he said it. But that's what I needed. So I'm cool with it. It's not like after I thought about it, I was like, yeah, that does make sense. What do I need to do to get up on my game? I mean, hell, I didn't work since I was 15, so it's not yeah, anyway, but with this situation, the Lord is showing me, or rather he showed me, that either someone told him the words, let me see, I'm trying to think the specific words. It was like, think about it. Would she do that for you? It was that. I feel like it was a guy, but I don't know. It might have been a girl, and it may not just be my situation, but I just feel like so strongly this is my situation, because it was like at a time when I was expressing to him about what I needed, and I was really not saying it like I'm asking for it, but I was just like, I don't know what to do. And I was explaining about my son. And I remember him saying to me, so you need what, a 3-bedroom place? You know, it was like he was saying this to me as if he's trying to figure out what is it that I need. And I don't know what God told him. I know God told him to help me either in my business or to help me. I know that God gave him a directive to help me. The first day that he spoke to me, that's the words he said. How can you help me, or something like that? You know, so when we had our first meeting, and these are things that the Lord has brought back to my remembrance, because a lot of that stuff was wiped out by the enemy. And I remember these things. So that's how the Lord was showing me that he knew who you were all along. You know, he knew who you were before you knew who he was, because I wasn't on board with this thing for about a year, after the Lord started showing me him. But it's as if when the Lord reminded me of this scenario where he had asked me what I needed, I feel like somebody else came in needing something similar, and that's who he helped. I feel like even somewhere in the Bible, the Lord showed me that, because I kept thinking, well, he's been, if he wasn't married, that he's been dating other people, sleeping with other people and all this stuff. And I feel like the Lord confirmed to me that he wasn't sleeping with somebody else, but he did help them financially, and it messed him up. So it was something like that. And he even admitted something like that to me. And I wasn't going to even share this stuff because I was like, I need to talk to him about it. But, oh, well, it is what it is. But he mentioned that he had made a foolish financial decision at a point. And this was right before I started really getting attacked and knowing that it was a woman that was attacking me, okay, with the witchcraft and stuff. So, and I remember him looking at me strangely, because I know that he expected me to judge him. And I told him, I said, well, who better to teach somebody to do something differently with money than somebody who's lost it, or made a foolish decision. And he looked at me so strangely, but I felt like that's how I felt. I was like, he thought that I was going to judge him like he judged me. Because I know he judged me. I know he judged me thinking that I was lazy, all kinds of stuff. That I was flighty, all of this stuff. But that couldn't be further from the truth. But it was meant to, a lot of the things that I said and did, it was meant for me to look like that. And back to the house thing, when this voice was saying, would she do that for you? Think about it, because this is where this practical advice came in, and you're going to understand that later, because I go into detail about this quite a bit. But in some of the teachings I've already recorded. But when it said, would she do this to you? Do this for you? The Lord reminded me of a recording that I'd made for him years ago, because at the time was I working there? I don't know if I was working there at the time, but I recorded it for him, and I was future focused, thinking about how the Lord was going to bless me through this ministry and the other business ventures that the Lord had provided for me, that I've been working on, right? Because I know that the Lord is going to prosper me. I've always known this. I just didn't know exactly when and how, that type of thing. So I've seen myself where I'm going to be. And because of witchcraft, so have these witches and warlocks. Okay. And that's one major reason why my ex-husband was attacking me, and I have specific dreams on how he was attacking this ministry as well as my business, specifically my business, in some dreams that the Lord brought back to me as well. And it's really going to bless you if you are even, like I said, if you are dealing with even a portion of what I've dealt with, it's going to bless you to get this information. So I do want to invite you to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I know this is probably the first time I've said this, but I want you to take notes if the Lord has led you here, for this message or for many more. But also, in the recording, I remember feeling so stupid after I made that recording because of what I faced physically in my kingdom spouse's presence, and how he was treating me, and how it just seemed like it flipped the script, and how I was tormented thinking that I was committing adultery or that I was just wrong. I felt stupid because I've been honest about what I wanted to do to help him. I remember saying, I recorded something because I knew the Lord showed me bankruptcy. The Lord showed me bankruptcy. He showed me, I offered to get an apartment because I said, well, I know the Lord is taking me. I offered to get an apartment, and I wasn't going to live in that apartment because my kids, I knew that the Lord told me that my kids couldn't know that I have this other place, and that I was going to be paying for it, and I didn't want to move into it until I got my furniture anyway. And I mean, because I had this, Lord, I'm a long-term planner. So it's like I had this plan, and then I was thinking about the proximity of where this place that the Lord showed me that I needed to see about living there. It was not very far from where we used to work together. So I was thinking in proximity, it would be convenient for you. And I said, well, until I get things situated with my businesses, you're welcome to stay there if you need to go there. This was something that I recorded probably about 3 years ago now. Maybe 3 years ago. Yeah, it's been over 3 years since after we met. So yeah, about 3 years ago now. But the Lord reminded me of that. He reminded me of that feeling that I felt so stupid for wanting to do this for this man. But in the same respect, the Lord was showing me that he was feeling the same way about you. He felt stupid later for wanting to do this because of what was presented to him, the lies that were presented to him, which I have another dream. God, wow. I have another dream about that. Thank you, Father. But I wasn't expecting to record this. Obviously, I wasn't expecting to cry. But I've been deflated. As a matter of fact, the air mattress that I purchased where I was temporarily living started deflating about a week and a half ago. Like it deflates. And it's amazing the way God gets your attention. But now my phone is cut off too, so I can't really get in touch with him. So it's like, God, I have no, I'm like, okay, I'm trying to get another job, and now I'm like, okay, I don't have a phone. How can I get another job if I don't have a phone? But God has ways to get things done, and I'm just going to go ahead and post this. So yeah, this is a new introduction to everything, because my first introduction to everything, I don't need to use that one. Oh yeah, about the guy, I realized that guy, yeah, that's another dream I have about a counterfeit. I mean, when I say I really was thinking like, Lord, is is this how I'm supposed to get over this dude? Because I didn't want to be like on a rebound for real. Like, is this what it is? But I did feel protected with this guy, and I feel like the Lord was showing me that this is what my kingdom spouse was doing behind the scenes for me. The way that it's as if the compassion that this gentleman shows me is how my kingdom spouse really is, which I know that, and I may have to still put that message on here just to show you what I mean, but it's not, oh my God, I thought about it, I said, I don't want him to think the wrong thing, because I just told him that I love him, and then all of a sudden this guy comes around. But this guy has been around since, like, I don't know, I've been building a friendship or so at work with him probably since maybe September. And I even had a dream about that, where my kingdom spouse was finally coming to his senses in this dream, supposedly, and he was saying that his mom was just protecting him and something like that, but he was ready to finally take this gray coat off, which this gray coat, he's been wearing a gray coat in a couple of my dreams, and that gray means, of course, it's no clarity there, he's hiding something, that type of thing. But I was in this little bitty bedroom that I actually got up, and he was like, she just wanted to make sure you weren't bothering me. And I remember saying his name, and I looked at him, I said, bothering you? Well, am I bothering you? And then I walked out the door, because it was somebody there for me. And I remember him expressing in that dream that he was so upset that it doesn't make any sense that somebody would come to see you this late in the day, because it was 9:00. And I thought about it when the Lord reminded me of this. September is the 9th month. So I didn't really think this was going to be a thing, because I had this dream 3 years ago too. Maybe 3 years. It's been a minute. But, there's a lot of stuff that the Lord showed me in these dreams that I was thinking, well, no, that can't happen. And that won't happen because, prophecy is subjective, because you have free will in this thing. So I'm thinking, oh, well, we're not going to get to that point. But, all of this stuff that the Lord has shown me that wasn't manipulated by the enemy, it's been happening. And that wasn't expected, but my heart has really been mixed up, because I've the things that it's like the things that the Lord has shown me with this relationship between me and this other guy, which is not a relationship. God, it's weird, but it's like the things that are happening. For instance, like one of the managers, who the Lord was showing me is like an ex or a former friend of my kingdom spouse in waking life. This is the one that was kind of ruling things. This is the one that was making, like, every time I'm around this guy now, I'm really not around him much, right? Because she will come onto the line and bring him to the other side. It's like, and this is what the Lord was showing me with this dynamic, is that this is what transpired within the first year of us meeting. Like, this evil woman was the one, and y'all gonna understand that later too, about another dream that I had. That it's a lot that I gotta tell y'all. And I really want to be able to share this with y'all, with him, because it's gonna be hilarious, I'm sure. But I don't know when that's gonna happen, if that's gonna happen. Again, we all got free will. I'm willing, but I don't know if he's willing at this point. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. But it's been a ride, and this has been a training period. Speaking of training, Lord have mercy, you keep reminding me of this stuff. And I know this is like really long. Oh my God, this is like over an hour. Okay, so the training thing, another thing the Lord has shown me about my kingdom spouse, because on a lot of these videos, I say God ordained, but the Lord changes it to different words. Like in the transcript, it'll say, at some point, it says scatterbrain marriages. It says scatterbrain spouses when I'm speaking about that, meaning, obviously that was indicating at the time the confusion that was going on with not only my kingdom spouse, but also possibly yours, depending upon the word that I was recording at the time. Also, Psalm 107 is coming to mind. That's been coming up a lot. And that's reminding me of something that I provided to my kingdom spouse in a journal a long time ago. But that's been coming up a lot lately, and it's 120. Oh, well, it's not 120 right now, but it's an hour and 20 minutes. Oh my God, an hour and 20 minutes reminded me of that 120. I see, this is what I mean when I say, prophetic dump stuff just comes to me and I just have to put it out there, because sometimes the Lord is speaking to you in just that bit or that piece. It may not be the whole message, but just that bit or that piece. The Lord may want you to go to Strong's Concordance and look it up. He may want you to look at maybe even Psalms 120. I don't even know what that says, but that may be a word for somebody. So I just have to get that out. But I keep saying about the training. Yes, this has definitely been training ground. The Lord had told me a long time ago that He would be my first student. But let me see what else. God help me. I just had it. It's like right there, and I cannot remember what I was going to say. Darn it. Oh well. Yeah, stuff like this happens. But gosh, I almost want to pause this right now so that I can make sure I can remember. Oh, that's what you wanted me to say. Oh yeah, exactly what I said. See, when I say about these prophetic dumps, just about every other word is a separate word, because when I said I almost want to pause this right now so that I can make sure I remember, I've mentioned it before. You're going to find out whenever all this stuff is on here that one tactic that the enemy has used is not just to remove dreams from you, but memories of your kingdom spouse. My kingdom spouse, I know for a fact that there were several occasions that he literally he had forgotten things about me, but he was searching. I could tell he was really trying to remember the good things about me, because they have to remove the good things and replace it with bad in order for that type of separation curse to work. So that's one thing. Okay. God, please help me to remember this other part. And the same is true for you. And that's why I said when I prayed to the Lord to release and to remind me of the attributes that I'd forgotten, the things that He'd said and done that I'd forgotten. Like in the beginning, I remember just when I was in there speaking to Him one day, when I was getting ready to leave, He's like, I got to give you something. And that blessed me so much. He gave me like a little thing of cookies and like some chocolate or something like that. And what else did He give me? He gave me something else, but it was just like 3 little things. And I know it's probably something that was once given to Him in a basket or something, but He just had it and He just felt like He needed to give it to me. And I thought it was so endearing. And it was like, He wouldn't have known it, but that was God sharing with me that, see, He's generous too. Because that's what I needed. I was married to an evil, vindictive, and stingy man. And that's what I desired, the opposite. I desired the opposite because I'm generous. Even though I haven't always had a lot to give, I've always given my last to others if necessary. So it's like, I need balance in that area. And the Lord's been working on, I feel like the reason why I haven't had as much as I used to have is because I didn't have balance with what I was giving. And maybe that's what happened with my kingdom spouse, because I felt like he always was helping everybody and everybody was always running over him. I felt like the Lord was showing me that was why he started becoming bitter, because He also showed me this summer where He told me to pay attention while I was at work. And this summer, as I came out of work, I saw this guy who was standing next to this really heavy set woman, but he had no shirt. I don't know why dude didn't have his shirt on, but he was just steady. It was 2 days in a row. And the Lord showed me that this is what happened. Now, the heavyset woman would be this woman who has a lot of money. So he was either in a relationship with this woman who had a lot of money or a lot of social clout, but he didn't have anything. It's like like the Lord was showing me that this woman stripped him, like took his shirt off of him. So, so he had been gagged like twice, and I've had a lot of dreams where the same woman was in it. So either he married this woman twice, or he dated this woman and got back with her because she's, covert narcissist and all of this stuff. Something like this happened, and I'm just putting all this out here, and this is like, I wasn't expecting to say all this stuff, even though I've recorded a lot about it. Maybe that's what the Lord wanted me to do, just to get this all out so that we can know that we've been on the same page, but I don't know. We've been on the same page, and our enemies have been working together to keep us apart because we're meant to heal each other. We're meant to be one another's remedy, and the devil don't want us together because we're powerful together. That's why the enemy wants to keep you apart. But the enemy wants to keep you apart by making you fight one another with their suggestions that trigger your pain from your past. But see, the Lord wants you to use that pain in purpose and, proceed, like that alliteration right there. Anyway, but, I gotta break up the monotony because I've been talking for a long time. And, see, that's what I'm talking about. The Lord has brought my joy back. I was really sad. Oh my God, thank you. He's brought my joy back, just reminding me of all of this. God, this is so awesome. And also, some of the things that the Lord was showing me that I may have thought that my kingdom spouse went through, that it may have actually been a friend of his, and this is why he's been so hesitant to take the ring off. Like the ring was connecting him with a curse. I got another dream about that. Actually, I got a lot to get out for y'all. It's a whole lot, but I just got to do it a little at a time because I've been trying to do it my way. And I feel like, if we were both on the same page, there's nothing that could prevent this from going forward. But it's just, right now, it's a lot harder than it should have been. But again, this was necessary because there is no way that had I not experienced this much turmoil that I would have been able to acknowledge the trauma that my second ex-husband and his evil family created in my life. Not just now, but then. I would not have been able to dig this up, swallow it, and get it out of my system. So, even though it's been hell, for that I'm grateful. And I'm excited because I'll be able to teach you all from the lessons that I've learned. And I will be able to receive the love that I deserve. And give the love that I want to share. Because before today, honestly, I didn't know how I was going to try to trust him. I listened to many recordings that I'd made over the last couple of years, and that theme where I don't trust him kept coming up. And every time I heard it in the last few days, I said, God, how can I trust him? And I remember once before, I felt like the Lord was showing me when he woke up and realize what was going on before he had to start acting, so that the witches and warlocks wouldn't be aware that he was no longer under their spell. That one of his prayers was, because it came out of my mouth, and this was around a time when I knew that this was not something that I physically would have prayed, but it was, I'm sorry that I didn't trust you sooner. It was like I repent for not trusting you sooner, or something like that. I think this is where he was acknowledging that God had sent me to help him and not to harm him. And that he was sorry that he didn't trust God sooner. I guess I'm going to leave you all with that, because, I feel the same way. I'm like, I'm sorry I didn't trust God sooner, because a lot of this could have been avoided. But again, it was necessary. And I'm going to still leave a lot of the recordings as they are, because they're funny. And just so that we can go back through together whenever we are able to do so. And I guess now I can actually put the dates that I made these recordings out there, because I was really trying to struggle with that thing. I was like, Lord, I got to be honest about this stuff. This stuff is kind of old now. But that's another thing that I struggled with, because I was like, I think that's why I was trying to edit so much, because I was like, I got to make it, relevant, but it will be relevant if I put the dates on there, because you will, if it's for you, you'll be able to identify with what you went through, because there's a lot of dates out there. There's that the Lord has had me to place within certain words that I didn't get it at the time, but now I do. Like the 15th of September is a big date. July the 10th is a big date. I'm trying to think what else. I think April 2nd is another one, but it's kind of, it's a lot. Yeah. Like I said, I got over 1,300 recordings in the last 2 years, that I have not released to you all. Because it's some that I released and I took them off of my channel because I wasn't sure of what was what, and I felt like it was premature. But everything happens for a reason. Dang it, I wish I could remember that other point that I wanted to make. Well, I'm going to go ahead and listen to this and post it as is. And yeah, I'm back. It's going to be little by little, I guess. I don't know how it's going to be. The Lord may have me to be able to get all of this stuff out in one lump sum, but then again, it may not be best for you all to digest it that way. Don't want you to choke on the material. Anyway, if this has been beneficial to you, I do want to invite you to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you are not already in the family. I got a lot of songs the Lord has given me for you all, and it's some interesting, some really different interpretations that I wasn't expecting, that I've recorded, as well as, it's just a lot. It's a variety of stuff. So I don't know exactly what's going to come out next, but whatever the case is, if it's for you, it will bless you. So also, if you feel led to donate to me, I want to say this is ministry, but I need it. All right, now, of course, you will be supporting this ministry so that I can get my own equipment, I guess I need to get somewhere to stay first and a vehicle. But, it is what it is. I need a lot, and I know the Lord is blessed my hands to be able to create well. So as the Lord provides me those ideas, and I put those ideas in action, I do appreciate any help that you all can provide. The credentials are in the description for your reference, and I will put the words that I said I was going to put on here following this one, and we'll go from there. I love you all, lovelies and gents. Thank you so much for your support. For those of you who have hung in there with your girl throughout this long sabbatical, it means a lot. Okay, I guess that's it for now. Until later.